The following program contains flash photography.
Hello and welcome to CityScapes, a programme made by and about the members of PPN and affiliates. Sound check.
Check.
Great stuff. Hello everyone, my name is Philomena O'Dowd and today I'm at CityScapes and I'm going to do a salad lunch.
We now explore incorporating organic food into our daily lives by focusing on the humble sandwich.
We're going to cut up a salad like that. Let's do that right. Let's put it all together. That's all. The stock. Cut off the stock. Yeah. But then what you can't eat. And put it all in there. Now I'm going to for the eggs. Yes, to the end. Cooked these eggs last night on a hard boil on a timer. Water in a pot and a special timer with the water. It goes into the water and when the eggs are done, it goes white. So it says hard boiled egg.
The timer?
Well, so the little yolk does. It's in the shape of an egg. So it goes into the water and it comes up with it. So the water, eggs are done, it goes on the hard and soft and medium. So it went on the hard. So I'll put them all in there. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to chop this up. If I go off the top, I can't eat them. That's it. Yeah, no one can eat these. Into all there. I'm cutting these up because they make it easy for the salad. Once I've had the scallions, to bung the oil out of me and not put them in. Put them all in there, right? So that's all that's done. We put the mayonnaise on it then, on the salad. Well, maybe I haven't got a big bowl, we'll throw it all together. And we don't see that's it. I think that's great. Now, it seems to be working out now. Oh. That's all. And the leftover.
Take that home.
Okay, yeah. Look. You don't need salt, but as I say, the mayonnaise is salty enough. And you know, when I turn out. Till it's all when I'm sure this all around to covered with the sauce, that's the mayonnaise. I'm going to put the bread with mayonnaise. That's fine, but. And then I'm going to put the ham and the salad on top. This is, yeah, that's what I'm going to do here. Done. That's all. That's right. We fold up the ham. Yeah. There's one now. That's a hand. A hand. So. So that's it onto that. That's two. I'll come back to put the final touch on the sandwiches with the crisps. Yeah, then now. There's the sandwiches and there'll be final touch of the crisps. The dishes.
I'm Doris and we're in the Rediscovery Centre in Ballymun today.
We're back at the Rediscovery Centre, the National Centre for Circular Economy in Ireland. This time round, we're talking to Jackie Kinsella.
When did you start in Discovery?
Well, I'm the tour guide here at the Rediscovery
Okay,
Centre.
yeah.
And I've been here about a year, just over a year.
Yeah.
And part of my job is to take tours all around our fabulous building, into the gardens, down to our social enterprises, and educate people about our building and what we have here.
What can people expect to find when they come through the doors?
You first enter in and we've got a cafe. You go up to the first floor and we have an eco store. Then we'll show our social enterprises. We also have a fantastic research team here and an education team here who travel all over the country, teaching from kids to adults.
I'm Sarah from the Education Department here at the Rediscovery Centre. At the Rediscovery Centre, we offer a wide range of topics for primary schools, secondary schools, special needs and libraries as well. Our workshops include environmental topics as well as STEM topics. So some of the environmental topics we offer are on waste, water, energy, global citizenship.
Again, we go up into our roof garden. On our roof garden, we have our own vegetables that we grow and we eat ourselves as well. So that would be a typical day of a tour, bring you through the whole building, explaining everything in our building. We have groups coming from Colorado, we've groups coming from Germany, we've groups coming from all over Ireland, like school kids. What we do here, do tours from all over the country.
Can you tell me what links the centre has with the local community?
Well, the RDC, the Rediscovery Centre, was originally the old boiler house that sent the energy from the boiler house here where we are at the moment right across to the flats, Ballymun, as in heat and water. And at the time, when the flats were coming down, this building was going to come down too. And Rediscovery Centre said we'd like to get our hands on this. So with the help of some European funding, we got our hands on it and we turned it into what we have now, a sustainable building, because it was going to be demolished. It's an amazing building and it's part of the community. With our social enterprises, there's four of them. There's Rediscover Fashion, Rediscover Paint, Rediscover Cycling and Rediscover Furniture, which was actually our very first one. When the flats were coming down, the first thing people were throwing out was the furniture. So, because they were all getting moved to new houses and they had to have something new. So we took that on. And because it would be to upcycle, to repurpose, but that got very, very popular. And then on top of that came fashion, came the paint, and came cycles. Well, we have pieces that are probably over 100 years old that would we recycle and upcycle or repair. Bits and pieces that we would upcycle would go upstairs into our eco store as well. We also do workshops that would help people to upcycle their own furniture.
So with the bikes then, you'd get a broken bike, missing with something.
What the guys do down in recycled cycling is take the bike back to its frame. And they're usually very good bikes. Take it back to the frame, look after the tubes, the tyres, the oils and the brakes, put them back together, make sure they're roadworthy and safe, and then we sell them at a price upstairs.
For the fashion, do you teach people how to actually, like, you know, say, follow a pattern to cut out stuff and sew?
We do.
You do?
Actually, Aaron would be the manager down in fashion. And we run quite a lot of courses on sewing. So if you have your own sewing machine, you can bring it along, but we also supply sewing machines if you haven't got them. And again, the basics, and then you can go off and do whatever you want.
Hi there, I'm Aaron Murphy. I'm the Programme Manager of Rediscover Fashion. So I'm going to show you how to do an invisible mend. And this is something that everybody can do at home with just a needle and thread. Try and find a fabric that is going to match the jeans as best possible. It can be a really good idea if you have a pair of jeans that are beyond repair to kind of use that as your sacrificial repair patch pair of jeans. And also you can see on the denim there's a kind of grain in it, so it's a good idea if you're trying to make it as invisible as possible to match the direction of the grain.
Do you have the materials or do people sort of donate to you?
Everything in our building is donated, from the fabrics, the bikes and the furniture. Everything is donated. And some people would come with their own fabrics, but more than likely we have some fabric there that they can use. In our enterprise as well, we do have CE schemes and people would come in and do a year's training and they take off and do what they'd like to do.
Well, what would you hope now for in the future?
Like everything else, we just like to progress, constantly progress, get as many people through our door, just to show them, to educate them, to find something new, even if people just go away with a tiny little thing, tiny little bit more information. Like even our loos here, we use our urine here in our loos. And people, that's a bit of a shocker, but it's true. It's circular economy,
you know,
we are the Centre for National Circular Economy.
How do you use the urine?
It's not as bad as it sounds. We actually mix it with some water and we flush it. We put it into tanks and it goes right back into our building again and it's flushed. We have solar panels that heats our water. We even have a living wall upstairs and I'd invite you to go up and have a look at it. And there are plants grown with urine and water as well. It's cased off, like there isn't a smell. If you want to contact us and take a tour or go to our eco shop, go to our cafe, contact rediscoverycentre.ie.
For more information, visit the following links. The following segment contains flash photography. Filmed in 2022, we documented the grand opening of the new Coleman Cottage at the Mud Island Community Garden.
Teresa here from CityScapes. Myself and Doris are visiting the launch of the cottage here in Mud Island this morning. Come and have a look.
I would like to welcome you to Mud Island for the opening of this community facility in Coleman Cottage. I've recently arrived from Wicklow, known the Garden of Ireland, and I can honestly say that Newcomen Cottage here is definitely a fantastic city garden. The area was formerly a derelict site owned by Dublin City Council, and it's thanks to the local community that it's now a thriving oasis in the heart of the north inner city. The cottage, formally open today, is available to the community at large, from the local scout group to filming classes. So I'd now like to call on Fionnuala to say a few words. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks to the Lord Mayor, the new Lord Mayor as well, for coming. Very happy to have this opportunity to bring everybody into the garden. So we're here 11 years. So 11 years of the local community working hard together, all volunteers to bring this, not just as a garden, but also as an event place, as a place where groups can meet. I think it's become a community hub. And the cottage now, as an extra addition, has made the whole thing just come together much more. It just makes the whole thing, like the future of it is just going to be so many more possibilities.
Hello, Fionnuala.
Hi Teresa.
Can you tell us about Mud Island and the new cottage? How important a resource is it for the community?
So Mud Island is a community space that a few of us campaigned for and signed a lease with the council in 2011, so it's 11 years old. And all the time was this cottage in the corner. It had been formerly lived in by a man named Pat Murphy, who was a local community activist who unfortunately passed away. So that cottage was just standing there for a long time, and as the garden developed and became more of a community resource, the council then agreed that we could incorporate the cottage in our activities, not just for us but for the wider community as well. So today is a great day that it's been renovated and finally we get to use it. We've got an indoor space, we've got electricity, we've got water, we've got cover. So yeah, it really is a great day for us.
What was your own role in the project?
So I was one of the founders of the garden. I just live over there, and when this became a waste ground, we started campaigning, me and two others, May Form and John Hannigan, to secure it as a community garden, because we just had a vision that it's what the community needed. So after that I became the chair, because we divided up committee roles. So since then, yeah, I've been involved, as I say, mostly in sort of the arts and in some of the events and that. So there's a coterie of very talented gardeners I try to keep away from, and builders and stuff like that. We all find our niche in the garden.
Can you tell us about the construction of the cottage?
So the cottage was already standing, but it did take architects and engineers and all to come in and just make sure it was brought up to spec. So that was all the city council, and they landscaped all around here as well at the same time. So yeah, I think it's really secured the area and the place for as a community amenity for future generations, I hope.
I'd like to call on Michael O'Riordan from the NEC to say a few words.
The key challenges, I suppose, set for the programme implementation board when it was established was to try to make the North East inner city a vibrant place to live, work and play. We're very, very happy to support the redevelopment of the cottage here with Dublin City Council and the collaboration on that. Because if you're here any day, any Saturday, when the garden is in full bloom, when the community are walking, when Fionnuala has our art classes on, or if you're here around Halloween, this is what we want to see: real community spirit. People from the area working together, volunteering, doing this because they want to do it and they want to work to make things better for each other. One of the tendency given whatever funding that was given towards this is that it can be used by all groups in the area, not specifically for the group from Mud Island, but for the Scouts, maybe from the neighbours next door, and all of it. And we want to see multi-use of all facilities in the area, and this is the start of this. So all I want to say to the group from Mud Island, the very best of luck to you in here, and to all of the groups that use the cottage from now on.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Ryan. I'm an executive architect with City Architects in Dublin City Council. I became involved in this project in 2018. So at that stage, I suppose we wanted to refurbish the cottage and provide it as a community cottage for the whole community, and then make the whole site accessible, so more inclusive for people. And we want to, I suppose, support the activities that's already going on here by providing them with the toilets, basic things, a kitchen, water supply, and a community space that they could use for their training.
I'm Anya Bean. I'm part of the NEIC programme office, so we'd be involved in the community aspect of the community garden. I have just started, and this is my first time seeing the venue this morning, but it's excellent. It's a really great venue, and I have heard many things about it, and the garden itself, the community garden, so it's great and welcome new people coming into the community.
I'm Stephen Warren. I work from the Central Area Office. I was involved in the project here in a kind of a coordination role. Would have been helping out Eleanor and the administration team, and engaging with the NEIC, architects, engineers, neighbours, just trying to make sure the project runs smoothly. I think credit to Eleanor and design team there. It's turned out to be a fantastic building. There was lots of choices to be made in terms of extending the works, let's say, but they were definitely worth it for the finished product that we can see today.
And the big changes were the improvements to the public realm as well. New gates and railings to enclose the space makes it a much nicer space for the neighbourhood, and proper gates that people can use and come in, and it looks more welcoming, more of a civic presence, I suppose. It's making it more official. We've improved the footpath a bit as well, and then provided an accessible path all the way around. Again, it's all drained well, and it's gravel, so it's all very kind of sensitively done. So we didn't want to use what's here and just kind of do it minimally. So now they have a brand new cottage with a new roof, new floor, new windows, new doors, new electrics, everything. And it's hopefully doing them for another 20, 30 years, and even more. And wheelchair accessible, and you can see it even today, how everybody's able to come into the site.
I'd like to call on the Lord Mayor to speak.
As first citizen, I'm delighted to see the transformation here in Newcomen Court and the adjacent Mud Island Community Garden. The initial lease for this once derelict site was signed 11 years ago between Mud Island and Dublin City Council. From that starting point, the garden developed to what you see today, and now this cottage has been developed to further transform this area into an oasis of well-designed public space and a usable local resource. This new facility opens up infinite opportunities and potential to build on existing community engagement and to promote sustainable, greener living for all in the centre of our capital city. As Dubliners, we sometimes often don't realise the significant part of this part of the city. Now more than ever, despite living in challenging times, the community here in North Inner City continue to face these challenges head on and work together to make real change.
There's such a shortage of community spaces, and right here in the northeast inner city, there's even a greater shortage of these spaces, and it means people come together socially, and they do fantastic work in these groups as well. So it's great that they have a resource that they can use during, let's say, our not great weather. Yeah. So they've somewhere dry, and they have bathroom facilities, and they're right on the doorstep of the community garden as well, which is a great asset to the area as well. Yeah.
You're a great advocate for greenery.
Yeah, so like community gardens are a valuable asset to any area, and they bring great diversity for biodiversity. Because of the different planting. It's growing flowers, but it's also growing vegetables as well, and it also brings people again together in community settings, and they learn from each other, and a lot of people that would have normally been isolated can now pop down to a community garden. So it's a win-win for our environment, but also for our community in a social aspect.
This project is a fantastic demonstration of how Dublin City Council and the local community can work together to create meaningful, sustainable change. I am aware that the Central Area Office continues in its efforts to encourage greening and environmental projects throughout this area. and the NEIC Greening Strategy continues to transform streets and parks around the area. I am pleased to learn that there are a number of groups already using the cottage, including CityScapes, the local CityScapes, and indeed the Mud Island Gardening Group. I would like to welcome the representatives of these groups to this official opening as well.
Just to say that it is a fantastic, positive story for the North and East Inner City to have Dublin City Council work with the community, and they've done a fantastic job. The team here in Dublin City Council are brilliant, and they basically roll up the sleeves and get stuck in, and the proof is in the pudding here now.
Look this way, look this way, look this way.
Does anybody want to go in? Oh, it's fantastic.
What are the aspirations for the use of the cottage going forward? As wide as you like, I think. People need community spaces, training spaces. I mean, the scouts are using it, and you guys are using it for filming. The possibilities are limitless, really, and especially because we have the garden space as well. So it's nice that there's an outdoor-indoor space as well. So yes, it's exciting. The tenacity and courage of a few people can really have great results in the community, and I just would like to say to other people, if they have the idea, keep going with it. Come and talk to us if you've got an idea about it. There are ways, the council are amenable, and more it's amenities that are needed, particularly in the North Inner City. So I'd say keep going, and here's to many more community gardens.
For more information, visit the following links. Next up, we join Voice and Hoth Tidy Towns.
My name is Corey de Jong. I live in Hoth for 45 years and I absolutely love the place. I would not live anywhere else. This is an event organised by Hoth Tidy Towns. We are a community group consisting mostly of volunteers. Really important is to emphasise that we want to liaise with other groups in Ireland like Voice.
My name is Colin O'Byrne and I work for Voice. And Voice is an environmental charity which focuses mainly on issues regarding waste and resources and the sensible use of resources. So what we engage in really is we work with communities, we work with politicians, we work with everyone we can to raise awareness about resources and how precious they are, because you may know that we have a bit of an issue with regard to the amount of waste that's in the world. Not just rubbish you find on the ground, but just stuff we buy and we use once and we throw away. And it's a symptom of like a mindset whereby we think that there's loads and loads of stuff in the world, but actually it's only one planet, so we only have a certain amount of stuff. If we keep using stuff, then all that stuff goes. That's the technical explanation for it. Well, we were quite involved with getting the plastic bag tax years ago. Anytime you went into a shop, you were given a plastic bag when you wanted it, not really, and it cost nothing. And on a day like this, looking at the trees here, you'd have seen plastic trees festooned with plastic bags. Plastic bag tax came in, all of a sudden people were forced to sort of change their behaviour, and rather than paying what I think was some weird price of 21 or 23 cents per plastic bag, now they were bringing their own plastic bags, and that's continued to this day. I think the vast majority of people in Ireland have their own bags that they bring shopping with them, and that's made a big difference. One of the things we're doing now is called the Return for Change campaign, and it's all about promoting the deposit return scheme that's going to be introduced in Ireland soon. Loads of people know about deposit return schemes from other countries in Europe. Basically, you go and buy a bottle or can of liquid in the shop. You'll pay whatever the price is for the container, but a 20 cent, say, deposit on top. When you bring the empty container back, you get your 20 cent back. So that's going to be coming in next year as well, all over Ireland. Every shop that sells bottles or cans will be part of it. We'll all be impacted by it. And that'll have the same kind of impact that the plastic bag tax did, insofar as what people probably do is they'll save their bottles and cans at home. They won't throw them into the recycling bin anymore because they'll effectively be throwing money away. So they'll gather them at home, and when they go shopping, They'll bring them with them, bring them to the reverse vending machines in the supermarkets and get the money back like that. What we do is we've lots of different things. We're delighted to be out here today in Howth. Howth Tidy Towns do great work out here. We've worked with them before, and so we're trying to promote the Sick of Plastic campaign. So what we're trying to do is get people to go to their local supermarket, take a photograph of something they think shouldn't really be wrapped up in plastic, send a photo and a letter to that supermarket saying, here, listen, do you think you could arrange something so that we don't have all these, say, peppers or whatever surrounded with plastic that we don't need? And if anyone wants to do that, they can do that on a website. We're trying to get people to sign up to get their local TDs to support the circular economy bill. Circular economy is sort of what I was saying earlier on about using stuff more than once, increasing the life cycle of products. It's like the way things used to happen years and years ago in our grandparents' generation. You bought something, if it broke, you fixed it, you tried to keep it going for as long as possible. Not because you were an environmentalist, just because it made sense to try and keep things going for as long as possible. So the circular economy is all about trying to go back to that nearly and make sure that the stuff we make lasts a long time and tries to get waste out of the system. So that's what we're trying to do. And we've been at it a long time. In fact, Voices will be 25 years on the go at the end of this year. So we're having a big celebration to try and draw attention to all the successes we hope that we've had, but we really need loads more successes over the years. And as you can see, we've got this lovely coat on here. This is from the Picker Pals campaign run by Patrick Jackson for Voice. Patrick's from Howth, and he's picked up all of this stuff, and most of it I think here in Howth just washes up from the sea. And he's picked it up over the years just to, and put on a cloak, just to draw attention to the fact that, look, this stuff, we might forget about it. This little fork, for example, might have been a child's at one stage. Someone bought it, they used it for a while, they forgot about it, never thought about it again. But it's still here, it's still floating around the planet somewhere. They don't just disappear. So he's made this coat, he has this Picker Pals campaign. He goes around, works with all the school children around Ireland, learn about waste, how to pick it up, and how to take care of their area and their community. So it's all about working together and trying to pool our resources, expertise and passion for trying to do what's best for the local communities. But yeah, like I said, if people want to get involved, best thing to do is visit our website and see what jives with you there.
My name is Helen Lockhart and I'm chairperson of Howth Tidy Towns. It had been going for some time, but there was about 5 years when there was very little activity. So a few of us got together. We noticed that other towns in Fingal got a lot more attention from the council. There was a lot of things, getting into disrepair and not being taken care of in Howth. So about 4 of us got together and got it up and running again, and got a committee together, got in touch with the council to see what they did, what we could do. So we started small, and we began to work with the community employment people who are based over in the courthouse here. They do a lot of litter picking in the area as well, but they help us out in other ways. Over the last 5 years, it's really grown a lot. And where I think a lot of people just associated with litter picking, but it's about so much more. And one of the things is trying to ensure ourselves and the businesses produce less litter. So, we have campaigns like our Forever coffee cup. We work with the businesses that serve coffee and take away cups and try and get them to give a discount to people who bring their own and to accept people bringing their own cups. We have a water fill-up place, so we try and get people to think you don't need to buy your plastic bottle, bring your own container and fill it up there. One of my little bugbears, I have it in my pocket. These little plastic monsters that all they contain is one little glob of mayonnaise or tomato ketchup. And for what? So that your little glob of tomato ketchup, which you could just squeeze out of a container, is in that much plastic. To me, it just doesn't make sense at all. So that's another bit we do. We're involved in biodiversity, a 5-year biodiversity plan. And we're working with the council, not cutting the grass so much, making sure that what's planted is pollinator, bee friendly, looking at the habitats that we have, like the slope over there beside the courthouse that has habitats for solitary bees, a lot of things like that, looking at creating places where swifts can nest. We also have an allotment, so we grow a lot of our own plants, shrubs from cuttings up there. We do a lot of work with the schools, so we work with transition years during their term time. Last year we had on any given night, 10, 15 to 25 transition years, and we try and work with them in a way that is informative to them about, you know, biodiversity, and like, why are we planting 1,000 crocuses on the slope over there? Because they're the first flowers that the bees can, you know, get pollen from. So the first ones that open in the spring. So they're really important to the bees. You know, so we try not just to get them working, but to explain to them why they're doing it. They raked the whole meadow on the slope up in Ball Hill, because if you rake the grass off, the nutrition in the ground isn't as much, and you're more likely then to get the smaller wildflowers growing. So, you know, we also work with Scoilwhirra, with the National School, and beside the National School we have a community garden that we just started last year. We planted 25 apple trees. We have some vegetables growing there as well, and some of us work with the children in Scoilwhirra as well, planting within the school. Quite a few vegetables growing there now. So I think it's really important that children understand where their food comes from and get that feel for the soil, and, you know, planting seeds and seeing them grow, and then eating the lettuces or the potatoes or whatever. That, you know, I think it's really important for young children. We have a team that, you know, a team of graffiti busters that paint over graffiti, clean graffiti, but also paint murals in places where graffiti is endemic.
Don't know. Good few murals around. We've also done, like, down Claremont Beach. Like, it's a lovely beach down here, but the entrance into it was very dark and dingy looking. So I had the idea to do the beach huts. I did the outline, and then everyone in Tidy Towns, like, each picked a hut, had a design for each. And I worked with transition year students during the year. The last project we did was along the old tram line. So we did a nice tram to, you know, representative of the tram. We used to run up that direction, and we did, like, wildflowers and stuff. It was another, like, really dingy kind of graffitied wall.
We just want to showcase the work that is being done, because, you know, you might notice the little bits all over the place in Hode, but you don't realize that they're actually created or made or, you know, done by Hode Tidy Towns. So I suppose it's to raise awareness and ask people to join.
We've done a few electrical boxes around. I know that's a kind of a big thing around Dublin at the moment. Dublin City Council are doing it, but we're just kind of doing it ourselves. If it's a really graffitied eyesore, we kind of just, like, you know, brighten it up, and it tends to keep the graffiti away, which is a good thing. We get the paint from the recycle centre in Ballymun. So we were donated some initially, but, you know, we can get it for a reduced cost, which is good. We also get donations of paint from locals. You know, so anybody, you know, who has painted their shed, they give it to us. We reuse it. You know, it doesn't matter what paint it is. We'll use it for something. And if it's in a residential area as well, we'd consult with the locals, make sure it's okay. Some people don't like it, you know, too bright.
I suppose what I love about it as well is to see before and after, because that gives people very clear, you know, action. You know, they see how bad it looked before, covered in graffiti or stains or just being dirty, obviously. And then you see the colors and something that makes you smile, and that difference before and after, that's all. You know, it always works.
As I say, it's very difficult to get across to people that we're not just about litter picking. You know, it's trying to let people know what we're doing, the range of what we're doing, and the various organisations we're linked in with, like the dog wardens here, where we're really trying to help them out to, you know, get that mentality across to people that it's not all right to leave your dog poo on the ground.
I'm Desi Murphy. I'm a Fingal County Council dog warden. So basically we cover a lot of areas in Fingal County Council. This is one of them. So it's nice to be a part of this, because we like to also bring awareness about responsibility with dog owners, and our job would be more with owners with restricted breeds, with muzzles, blades, because it keeps everybody safe in the dog community as well as the community itself. So that'd be our main focus. So the beaches, the parks, and then towns like this as well. So, but if you send a little guy that I have with me up, he'll get abuse, but if I go, they listen to me. Yeah. No, but it's all about sort of communicating with them right. You know, it's just coming up to them with the right attitude, trying to have a laugh, listen, I'm just here to bring awareness about dog responsibility. You being the owner of a restricted breed or a dog that needs to be muzzled or on a lead to prevent things from happening. So that's all you can do, is just, I suppose, give people an understanding of what the responsibility is as a dog owner. It's very hard to catch them in the act, but we've had a few occasions where we had caught people in the act, and even though we're not covered, we don't cover that area of the little warden does, we will still step in and say, listen, you got to pick it up. So there was an incident where someone hadn't got a pill bag, so we got some toilet paper out of the back of the van and says, well, you're going to have to do it this way. So I think it was only a right lesson to learn that if you're willing to degrade the landscape and the area and not clean her up and care, well, here's some tissue, now pick it up and find the bin, like, you know. And they bring it on themselves. They should be more aware of what it does to the environment and people's, you know, everyday lives, stepping in it, children playing in it. It's just not right, you know. And people need to become more aware of their responsibilities as a dog owner, you know. There's been a lot of changes on the beaches now. I'll have to say that we patrol from Balbriggan to Rush, north, south, all the way down Skerries, all the way down to Portmarnock. Portmarnock's a massive beach. So all we can do is patrol, and the best thing we find we can do is communicate and get involved with the owners on the beach and let them know, listen, you have to be in control of your dog and know what it's doing at all times. And it does help a lot, and it has changed drastically because now the beaches are all up to excellent standard from the last testing, and the blue flags are being maintained on the beaches. So also in the parks there's been a big change. Owners are more responsible and aware that when you come into the park there's dog wardens, and you need to have your dog on a lead if it's restricted, muzzled, and you need to have your stuff with you to pick up after your dog. We also work with An Garda Síochála. We also work with An Poste because they issue us out, they issue out the fines, they issue out the licence checks that we do door to door. So it's not just about patrolling parks, nice areas like the beaches. We also go into the inner parts of the communities where people don't want you knocking on the door, but that's the job it takes to get people aware of what they're responsible for doing. So I think it's changed a lot, and some days are good and some days are better. Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. I was out on patrol on a beach one day, and the last thing you're ever thinking of finding on a beach would be a kangaroo. Yeah, so we're out patrolling the beaches one day, and I got a call saying, look, listen, there's something down here on the front of the beach, thinking it was a dog. So when I went down, I had a look, it says, right, this has short arms, and the tail, I was like, that tail couldn't, the water could not have done it to that tail. I said, this is not a dog. So he looked around and I says, this is a kangaroo. I says, what's a kangaroo doing on one of the beaches in Ireland? And funny enough, the chap that was with me, not Stu, his chap's name's Colin, another warden, another dog warden. He says, it must have floated over from Australia. So you can see he needs to be trained up on his geographical levels. So he says, no, I don't think I would have made it past the sharks. And then I would have had to went all the way around the bottom of Africa, back up here and across. So that was one of the very funniest things we've ever found. We got to the source of it. We found out there was an island off the coast of the east of Ireland that had up to 100 wallabies on it. So that's where it ended up coming up on shore. So that was just a funny, crazy day, folks. So from now on, my name as a warden is not Desi Murphy, it's Desi Dundee. That's what they call me now. So
we've got a lot of different kinds of activities, and we're always looking for people to join us. We're friendly, we don't bite. We have a nice kind of social side to us as well, and different age groups, different sorts of activities. It's good fun, and it's a free gym.
For more information, visit the following links. We explore open broadcast software with our next how-to installment.
We're going to go ahead and set up our scenes for our live stream, and I'm actually going to show you the setup we use for one of our demos. So if you look at the left of the screen, there's already a default scene. In OBS, there always has to be at least one scene that's created. I'm going to rename the scene as main camera. For this main camera, we now need to set what sources we want to use, like which cameras we want to have used in this scene. So press the plus button over here on our sources, and here I'm going to choose video capture device. I'm going to rename the source Mac Cam. Click OK. We now get to choose which camera we're going to link. Here you can see my choices, and at the moment I can choose from FaceTime HD, which is the built-in camera on my MacBook, and most computers have a built-in camera. So even if you don't have anything else hooked up, you can use the built-in one. You'll also see that I have a webcam connected, and that's as easy as connecting it to your computer via a USB cable. It should start working immediately after you connect it. If you do have any other cameras connected to your computer, then they'll show up here and you'll be able to pick those. I'm going to choose the FaceTime HD as my main camera. Under this bar you'll see presets. That sets the resolution, and the preset here is set to high, which is actually our 1920 by 1080, and that's what we want. There are other options, but these are all lower quality, so we'll click OK. And here we are on our main canvas screen, and you can see in sources it's been added. I'm going to now add our second scene, and again it's the same process, except this time I go down to the scenes pane, click on plus. I'm just going to leave this as scene 2. I'm not going to rename it, so we'll click OK. Then moving to sources, I'm going to add the webcam that we saw pop up on our previous list of options. So again, choose video capture device, and I'm going to rename this webcam. Click OK. And there you have it. I've chosen my webcam as our second angle, and the preset is at high. You'll see on screen that I'm just setting up my third scene here. Now, say I wanted to use my phone as a camera. Well, there are a few ways we could do that. We could do it wirelessly with an app called Video Ninja, or you can use cables, which is shown on the website. Follow the link on screen to find out how. Okay, so let's get cracking on using our phone as a camera wirelessly.
It's very, very easy. So just go to www.video.ninja. It's going to bring you into this page here. Okay, click Add Camera to OBS. The reason I'm doing that with no audio is because I'm screen recording and it's going to cancel out the sound. So you can use your microphone, your speaker, whichever it is, okay? Or you can have no audio and you can run your audio directly through a source on OBS, okay? But for the time being, we're going to leave it like this. I'm not going to change anything else. I'm just going to hit start. Okay, so you're greeted with this screen here. See this link up here that says Video Ninja? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that link and I'm going to paste it into OBS. Head down to our sources again. We're going to hit this plus, okay? We get our drop down list again, but this time we're going to go to browser, okay? So what you want to do is you want to get rid of the default URL that's there, okay? So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go copy and paste that in. Okay. Right, so I'm going to change the width 1920, 1080, okay? I'm going to say use custom frame rate. I'm going to say control audio via OBS. The reason being is that I want to be able to make changes to any controls from this master controller. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click OK. So our camera has appeared. Now, there might be a bit of lag with this sometimes, depending on the difference between the two. It seems pretty spot on to me, but if you head into studio mode, it's going to give you an idea of literally flicking between the two if you'd like. And effectively from that, if you don't see a lag or anything like that, you're pretty much good to go. The lag is really down to the internet connection. Now I'm using a phone and that phone is wireless. So obviously you're at the mercy of those type of elements. But again, it doesn't have to be a phone. It can be laptops. It can be multiple phones. You can have 2 laptops, 2 phones running at any given time.
You might choose to do this if you opt for a split screen or you're doing a demo and want to feature a side angle or a different angle. This can be achieved by adding to an existing scene or creating a new one. Let's take our main camera scene here. Go to sources, click the plus button and choose video capture device. Instead of choosing create new, we're going to come down to where it says add existing. Now you'll see I can choose from our pre-existing video capture device sources. I'm going to choose our webcam. So as you can see, it's put a webcam angle on top of our main camera screen. See these red lines have appeared, either help you resize your camera source. When you're happy with it, you can click on the padlock icon here and the red lines will disappear. You can do that for all sources. You can turn this new source on and off by clicking on the eye icon, like so. So in this instance, I'll show you how to duplicate the main camera scene with the two previously added sources. So a camera in camera scene. Right click on your main camera scene and hit duplicate. I'm going to call this scene 4. Click OK. And now you can see we have a new scene that's identical to our main camera scene up top. I'm just flicking between the two here to show you. I'll just go up to our main camera scene and return it back to its original setup. I do this by selecting the source I want to get rid of, the webcam source, and clicking on the bin down the end of the source pane. It'll ask if you're sure if you want to remove the webcam. Click yes. And now we're back to our original main camera scene, while scene 4 has the camera in camera scene view. So I'm going to add some text to our main camera. So I go into my sources pane and I hit the plus button, and this time select text. The create new pane appears, select OK. Then this new pane appears and in the box where it says text is where I start typing. I'm just going to keep this nice and simple and type in Cityscapes. Now from here I could select the font by hitting this button and selecting accordingly, or I can do it after I've brought in the text. So I'll just click OK here. And just like when we brought in the extra video clip to our main camera scene earlier, text has appeared with the red lines around it, helping you place and, if you want, to manually resize the title in your frame. You've probably noticed that after bringing in the text that these extra settings under the canvas frame have appeared. So from here I can play around with the font size, colour, etc. I'll keep it simple and select the colour first. So here the colour wheel has appeared, so I'll go for pink. Moving on, I'll go to the font tab. In here I can play around with the font, style, size, etc. You can have some fun playing around with those there yourself. Just quickly rearranging the scene so everything's in the correct order for when we go live. I do this by clicking and holding down on the scene and dragging it into the position I want to place it in. If I wanted to add that Cityscapes text into another scene, I can just select the scene. So in this instance, scene 2, go to the sources pane, go to add text, and then instead of choosing the select new option, I'll just go to select add existing and click OK. So as you can see, it's brought in the Cityscapes text for that scene, and you can do that for any and all scenes. We can build upon our basic camera angles and our text, etc., and start thinking about adding a snazzy intro and outro. This time I'm going to select a video intro that I already edited. So for our intro, we just go and add a new scene. So select a new scene, I'm naming it intro. Go to add source and select media source. The create new pane appears, select OK. You'll be brought to a pane that reads properties for media source, and you'll be asked to browse where on your computer you want to select the file from. That's in downloads and it's called OBS Cityscapes Video Roll. Click open, then click OK.
This one you'll need the following: stencils, paper, markers, sticky tape.
And I'll just move that scene onto the top of the list. So now I can move to the outro, and it's the same process as before. So select a new scene, I'm naming it outro. This time I'm bringing in an image. I'll go to the sources pane, click on image, select OK, and you'll be asked to browse where on your computer you want to select the file from. That's in downloads. Click open, then click OK. If when you bring in another camera angle or media source and it doesn't automatically fit the screen, you can either fill it manually as I've shown you, or you can go up to the very top of the screen, click edit, go to transform and then select fit to screen. I'm going to create a new scene called Outro with Jules. I'll go to the sources pane and add a new media source. I'm going to call this Jules Cam. And then I'll select the video of Jules in front of the green screen titled Jules Outro. And this time, if I navigate below the Browse tab, we'll see I'm going to choose to loop this video. I should say you could have chosen this for any of the pre-recorded videos that you've incorporated into your broadcast. Now you can see that it's brought Jules' green screen video in, and now I'm going to add in what I want to be the new background for her video clip. So just like we previously did with our video in Environmenatl, I add a new media source, which I'll name CityScapes Cam. And now I'm choosing our CityScapes segment intro video that you'll have seen throughout the series. I'll choose to loop this video as well. It's brought that into our canvas now and I'm resizing it. You'll also notice that it's covered the original video of Jules. Don't worry, because all I have to do is come down to the sources pane, and in the same way I rearranged the scenes into the correct order earlier, I'm going to do the same here by selecting and dragging the Jules cam to the top of the list. Now you can see Jules' video is on top of the Cityscapes video on our canvas, and I'm now positioning Jules' green screen video to where it's most appropriate on screen. Now that I have the two video files positioned to where I want them, and with the Jules cam selected in sources, I'm going to go up to this setting called filters and click on it. That then opens up a new pane, and I'm going to navigate down to where it says effect filters and click on the plus tab. A whole load of options have appeared, such as apply LUT. That's the kind of colour filter you use to alter the colours in your image, but the one we're going to choose is chroma key. So click OK. And you can see that in our new pane on the right, the green screen background behind Jules has disappeared completely. And just like we had in CapCut, I have other settings under Jules' video here that range from key colour type, like is it green, blue, magenta or other colour that you use to film against. OBS can remove those colour backgrounds. So just a whole load of options right down to the gamma setting. You can adjust those as you see fit. Okay, I'm happy with the adjustments I've made, so I'll click close. And as you can see, we have our new chroma keyed scene. So you'll have seen as we brought in our different sources that most of them are set to the external mic. But with our media sources, where say we've brought in a pre-recorded video, you might have noticed that there's two audio sources. The external mic that we set, and the other one is the sound source that's coming from the video itself. As we don't really want the two sources heard at the same time, you can mute them. This is done by clicking on this icon as shown here. So in this outro with Jules scene, you'll actually see that we have 3 audio sources, but we only want to keep the audio from the Jules cam. So therefore we're going to mute the other 2, like so. So say I had an interviewee and I wanted to create a separate audio source for them. I can add an extra mic in by going to sources and choosing audio input. I'm then brought to the create new pane, and I just click OK for audio input capture. Then I'm brought to properties for audio input capture. For this example, we'll just use the MacBook Pro microphone. And you can see now that it's been brought into the sources pane. You can of course add that audio source to more than one scene. If say you wanted then to continue their audio when you were showing a different angle, then you could add their audio source into that scene as well. Just another note on audio before going live. If your video and audio is out of sync, one thing you can do is click on filters, go to audio filters, and then go to video delay down here, which will help you sync it all back up. Now that we've got everything set up, let's move to start our stream. So navigate over to the controls pane on the right hand side of your screen, click on start streaming. You'll get this pop-up box that says you need to set up a broadcast before you can start streaming. Just click on manage broadcast, and from there click on select existing broadcast. We're clicking this because, as you'll remember, we set up a broadcast on YouTube earlier, so it's all ready to go. Then click on the live broadcast tab that appears just underneath. Then click on select broadcast and start streaming. This is located at the bottom of your screen. Right, so it's saying that we're going live. You'll also notice that because I earlier set up to automatically record when streaming, the stop recording tab is highlighted for selection, indicating that we are in fact recording. And if you look down the right hand side, you see the minute counter and CPU usage. We can also tell if we've any drop frames and or if there's any problems with the broadcast.
For this one you'll need the following: stencils, paper, markers, sticky tape, scissors and a picture frame.
They can go to make a picture to put into a frame of board and flowers.
I'm just going to click on studio mode now. Click on studio mode. Now I've done a split screen to see both our OBS and studio mode and YouTube broadcast, and I think there isn't too much of a lag between them. It's all good as far as I can see. When we go back to stop our stream, we click the stop streaming tab. You will get this message. Click yes. And then we can also click on our stop recording tab as well. When you click that, you will be asked if you're sure that you want to stop recording. Click yes. Your recording will be saved to the folder that you designated when you were setting up OBS. So I said we'd show you how to stream to multiple platforms at the same time, and so Rob is now going to cover that.
Imagine there was a way you could simultaneously talk to different communities. So you can talk to YouTube, you can talk to Facebook, you can talk to Twitter, you can talk to multiple different places. Go into your settings and go into your stream. Go to restream.io. It says connect account. So I click here. Okay. Now you need to log into your account. If you don't have one, I would go about setting up one. Log in. Okay. Okay. You need to go, okay. What you need to do is you need to add a destination. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add here. You see you've got your Facebook Live, you've got your YouTube, you've got your Twitter, you've got LinkedIn, all these different places, all right? And it's as easy as just clicking, hitting your profile, connect to YouTube. And you just click on each one and authorize each one to set up on your account, okay? So, click here. If you're using the free unpaid event, you're only going to be able to use 2. To activate more, you need to pay for their account. I'm giving allowing, yep. I'm making sure it's all, making sure Restream is trusted online, okay? I'm going to leave this as YouTube and Twitter. Okay, I'm going to hit close, okay? Now, if I go back to OBS, all I need to do now is hit start streaming and automatically I will go out on Twitter and YouTube simultaneously.
Earlier I said you could remix your file, i.e. repackage your file and audio from one type of file to another, MKV to MP4 in this case, without affecting the encoding. So when a broadcast is over, we can just go up to the top of the screen and click on File, then click on Remux Recordings. A box will appear asking you to drop files in the window, so over on the left hand side of the screen. Next, I can go back and click on File and choose Show Recordings. Then all you have to do is select the recording you want, click and drag it into the OBS section of the Remux recording pane like so. The target file on the right hand side is where the Remux file can be found. It's set to the same folder as the source file folder. That's the movie folder. So now that everything is in place, all I need to do is click on Remux down the right hand side of the box. And now if we go to our recordings folder, so our movie folder, we can see our original MKV file and our new MP4 file.
For more information, visit the following link. Sustainable Living with Andrew Jordan. We continue our Whistle Stop Eco Tour with Andrew Jordan, learning more about organic gardening and sustainable practices.
This grey one is a lavender leghorn, and it's like a kind of a showbird, exhibition bird. And the brown one is a brown leghorn, and that's another kind of, they're not for eggs because they produce tiny eggs, but they're kind of cool because they have a blue egg, so it's kind of unusual. So there's a kind of a, for restaurants, and that would be, you know, a big draw. And then this is a silky, which is quite a friendly variety, or friendly species. What is the word? Variety. And this is a male cockerel, and these are all a mix between a French white hen and a Rhode Island red, which is a very basic one. I wanted to get the day olds so that they get to know me and I'd be like the surrogate parent. And also, I wanted to go through the process from birth, so I knew that what they were eating when they were young, because you are what you eat, you know. I just wanted to get the healthiest possible chickens. And also, it was February, and I knew, you know, they weren't going to be laying until May or June, so I won't have vegetables till then anyway. So I figured it'd be a nice experience for the kids as well, to watch them come from birth. It was fun. I had them in the basement for a few weeks, and then I had them in the garage, just in a box. And then we built this, and we put them in here, and you know, they slowly got to know the garden, and now they're quite comfortable. But the only problem is that I have to have every crop protected. See the way the net is there, and they can see the delicious little beetroots, and they'll stick their head through the net. They'll stick their beak into the net to get them. And the lettuce behind the bionet, ideally I would have a normal net on that, because the bionet is like creates a greenhouse effect. But if I put a normal net on that, they will just stand on it to get at the lettuce. The other birds, the pigeons, will eat the cabbages, but they won't eat anything else for some reason. And these guys actually don't do as much damage as the pigeons. They're quite okay. Like, they'll nibble at the crops. Like if I forget, for instance, to put a cover on one of those crops, they'll nibble at the edges of it, but they won't actually kill it. And then the crop will actually grow back better. So in a way, they're just pruning, you know. They don't really destroy a crop like the pigeons would, you know, or rabbits. You know, they won't hoover it down to the stubble. But you don't mind picking in because they're getting frantic. Come on, kids. Here you go. Come on, in. They're so entertaining. I don't even mind if they destroy a crop or two. I've got a duck house coming. The good thing about the ducks is they don't scratch, so they don't do as much damage. Now, they will kind of stand on crops, they're bigger, but, you know, they're generally, you can let them out for a few hours a day. They eat a lot more than chickens, that's the thing. So I'll have to probably buy supplementary grain or something. But, you know, the duck eggs are worth more than chicken eggs because they're harder to get and because they're a premium because bakers use them. So, and also ducks are more personable and they will help me line that pond because I'm trying to get it to hold water. And their feet automatically kind of push down the clay and smooth it and compress it. So if you want a pond without a liner, which I do, I want a bigger pond actually, that's just a trial thing. I want to test the method. So I basically just throw all my pots and trays in there to water them. It's a really efficient way to water from the bottom, you know, because it encourages the roots to look for water below. And if the top of the soil is dry, it doesn't evaporate as much. I've got a lot of broccoli at the moment. Do you want to bring some home? See the way it's opening up now? You can see a bit of yellow. As long as it snaps like that, it's tender. I'm going to try one. I'll give you a good one actually. The soil is a bit hungry because I've been basically working off my own compost. I've been trying to keep the fertility down to a minimum and you know, so I'm not bringing in imports because I just can't get access to good manure. I could get it down in PJs in Offaly, which I have done, and I can show you actually good stuff. And I think I might actually do a bit of rundown there. But to get organic cow manure is like in a hen's teeth. It's impossible. But this stuff is rocket fuel. This is basically just full of worms, and this is 3-year-old manure on straw bedding, which is just perfect. And you put a handful of this into a big pot like this size, and it's got enough nutrient and fertility and organic matter and microbes. So this is like a starter, a sourdough starter, you know. This is all the good microbes. So if I put this just here in the soil, just on the top, you know, all the microbes will inoculate this bed. Now, I don't really want it to be exposed to the air, so I'd probably, you know, pull this buttercup up and drop it on top like that. And, you know, that will protect it. And this will fit me here. But peas are getting annihilated by the chickens, but you can't really do much about it because you can't net the peas. It's too much. This is another example of a wild, some kind of like a weed brassica that just grew in the tunnel, and I stuck it in there and they've just hammered it. But if they're eating that, they're not eating the real ones. So I'm happy enough. But yeah, moving along, we have so much broccoli, and it's just at the end of the period. For the last 2 months I've just been doing this every day. I'm feeding like everybody on the road, my neighbour, my family, everyone who comes, I give them a big bag of broccoli. So this is a comfrey patch which I've kind of colonised with comfrey that I've dug up from all over the garden. So this will be my main fertility besides the manure. But as I was saying, that it wasn't quite enough, just the plant-based fertility. I needed some, oomph. I used a lot of seaweed, and that's really, really good fertility. But again, it wasn't, for some reason, humming completely. Like, I wasn't happy with the garden last year at all. There was a few crops that just weren't doing well. And I think it's because it didn't have the organic matter. Like, the seaweed is great for minerals, but it doesn't have much organic matter. So I've tried to collect as much as I can, but yeah, it's very labor intensive, it's labor intensive either way to be moving your fertility around. It's better to grow it on site and just chop and drop, like to grow green manures, cover crops. But I don't really have enough space. If I had a garden 4 times this big, I'd have 3 plots under green manure and 1 plot under production. And then, each plot would have 3 years to recover. And this garden, I've been taking crops out of it every year for nearly 10 years now. So, it gave amazing crops for the first 5 years. Then it's kind of just leveled off a little bit and dropped. So that's why I wanted to get some good cow manure in here. I was just experimenting because there's a lot of farmers now that are growing vegan. They're not using any animal inputs, and they maintain that it can be done. So to me, it was like a challenge. I can grow without, but Jesus, it's so much easier with manure. It's just, everything just is so lush. I've just started using it now in these, you see under the nets over there? That's all kale and peas, and you want to see the difference.
For more information, visit the following link.
To stand and witness beauty so profound. To listen and yet not to hear a sound. Of man or foot or wheel or mechanical roar. Just rolling waves placing kisses on concrete shore. A blanket of blue is her glistening, rolling skin, protecting the wondrous world that lies within. A world soft-moving, calling for us to slow, pleading that we tread softly as we go.
We hope you enjoyed this series of Cityscapes. See you next time around.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.